Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, we're out on Lake Chickamauga, Tennessee River. We're out ledge fishing. The current is moving, which when I got on the water with the current moving, we just had a log kind of drift past us here at a good clip, which is a good sign, but the bite's still tough. And I think the reason for that is that sometimes when you have consistent current, even though you have, the right amount of current, if it's consistent and they're just constantly pulling that current, it's tricky to find those bite windows because there's not those lulls. When they start and stop, throughout the day, pulling the current, that's when you can get right in a hurry. But if they're just consistently pulling current, it's like you're just snacking all day. That's what I would compare it to, is just being at home, watching TV and snacking all day. There's no like specific window. You're just kind of constantly full throughout the day. So I think that's kind of what's happening. But anyways, my favorite technique on the Tennessee River for catching fish under these circumstances when the bite's tough is on a drop shot. So we're rigging up a drop shot right now. Gonna get this ready. We've got 10-pound Seaguar Gold Label leader that we're using. Okay, we're not going super light. And then I've got a main line of the PEX8, the 21-pound test. And we're gonna rig up just my standard go-to drop shot rig, which includes a 1/4 ounce weight. I'm pretty impatient. I'm not going super light with this drop shot setup. And we're going to be using a straight shank drop shot hook today. This one right here. That way we can Texas rig the straight tail worm, the long shots that we're going to be fishing. Usually, if I'm fishing clean bottom, I like the Hayabusa DSR 132. It's the best drop shot hook I've ever used as far as nose hooking. But we're going to be casting around like stumps on the edge of the river channel and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and do something a little bit more weedless. We might even find some brush piles. I don't know. But the other part of this setup, we got a 7.2 medium heavy Versus Series rod. I really like this for my drop shot fishing out here. And we've got this weight here. I'll show you this. So this is, I like to do something a little bit different. I've really tried to love those clip style of drop shot weights, but really the style that has a just a regular line tie loop there, that's what I like. So I just go ahead and tie that on there. I just hate losing drop shot weights, especially when tungsten is so expensive nowadays. And I also hate it when a fish jumps up with those clips and they end up shaking those clips off. So it's just a personal preference. One drawback though is when you do snag, if you do snag your weight in the bottom, it's no longer the weak point. It's not just going to pull free. So what I like to do is take my scissors and kind of run it on that line right above the weight. That way you have a weak link in the chain, so you can break off the weight if you have to, but it's not going to break off unintentionally. So the big key for me out here is the worm. So I use a straight tail worm. There's a lot of really good drop shot worms. This one right here, the Z-Man long shots in the twilight color, which is kind of a play off of Morning Dawn, is really good. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and throw. And it's super durable, so I'm not gonna lose as many as I would with, say, a traditional plastic. But there we go, that is the setup. So let's go ahead and get fishing, see if we can't catch something. All right, that seems to be where I'm getting most of my bites. So one of the things that took me a while to realize about fishing a drop shot is how just a dragging technique is perhaps the best way to get bites. There's a fish right there. You let it go. You know, I remember distinctly I was doing a show in 2007 with Bob Azumi. He's a big personality in Canada and a family friend. And we were out drop shotting on Erie, and I'm out there just jiggling that rod tip like you wouldn't believe, making that thing dance. And he's just laughing because he knows that those fish prefer just kind of a dead stick, slow drag, just letting it sit there. And he made fun of me. And then when I ended up changing my strategy, I ended up catching fish. So just a rod tip in the air orientation and slow drag seems to be the best technique. And oftentimes when I'm catching them on the drop shot, I'm pulling it up a ledge. You know, I'm not really pulling it across the ledge, I'm pulling it up the steep side of the ledge and bringing it onto the top. Which is what we're doing here. So hopefully we can get bit. There's a fish right there. Little guy. Little itty bitty. Little spot. Look at that guy. You got that long shots. Gaffed right in his side of his mouth. And I think it's really important, you know, to note and pay special attention to the rod tip orientation. You know, there's a lot of dragging techniques where, you know, I'm dragging to the side, but with a drop shot, the whole idea is to keep that bait suspended above the weight. And so I really do think that it's best to, you know, especially in shallower water, keep your rod tip up. You know, if you're in deeper water, you've got a lot of scope. And so, oh, there's a fish right there. Oh, dang it. So there you go. He ate it again. Dang it. Missed him. But in deeper water, you know, even if your rod tip's to the side, it's the bait is still going to be above the weight. But the shallower you are, the less of an angle you're going to have with your line. So you want to use your rod tip to keep the line up, to increase that degree angle.
We believe in the magic of the outdoors. Our friendly, knowledgeable outfitters will help you gear up for your next adventure. With Club Member Mondays now through Memorial Day, Club members save 10% at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Voted America's best outdoor retailer.
There's a fish. Almost missed that one. Little guy out here listening to Heavy Hitters event. We got a little bit of a break and we're starting to catch some fish on the drop shot. That one came on through my worm. That one came off of the main Tennessee River drop, man. Nice little Tennessee River bass. Oh, there he is. There he is. That one feels better. That one feels better. Come on, jump up. You're not going to throw that. Oh, he's just a tiny bit better. Too much fun, man. You're not gonna throw that. Come on, dude. Give me a break. It is so important to pay attention to where you get bit and make that precise cast. It's nice on a day like today where you don't have a lot of wind. Oh, chunky fish. Look at that. Look at that. Right in the corner of the mouth. Nice chunky fish. Gosh, took my worm again. There's a fish right there. There we go. Kind of got to be a little bit more careful with that straight shank hook because you're kind of Texas rigging that bait. So you got to let them have it a little bit. So here we go on the long shots. All this stuff that I'm catching fish on, the drop shot, will be in the description below. Not big fish on this school, but it's fun catching them. There's a fish. That's a better one. Slightly better. So much fun, man. Not really that big. A little largemouth. For this little school, I'll take it. There we go. Beautiful little fish. He cooperated. He decided to play with me today. Love it. Love it. It's so cool how, like, yes, topwater, fun, super fun. Throwing a chatterbait, getting on that bite, super fun. Big swim baits, every technique is fun once you start like figuring out how to catch them with it. I just, bass fishing in general is just a lot of fun. All right, guys, that does it for today, or at least for this video. I'm going to continue fishing because it's a lot of fun, even though it's a little bit slow today. And the drop shot is definitely one of the best, if not the best, techniques for catching fish when the bite is slow. Obviously, when the bite is good, I want to be fishing some reaction baits and really just loading the boat fast. But the drop shot is a very, very effective technique. So, you know, go out there if you're struggling fishing offshore. Try these tips that I've given you today on this video. And also, we've got all the links to the products that I use for my drop shot setup in the description below. So check out those links. That is a great way to support the channel by using those links to purchase these products. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me out here today and spending some time with me. Other than that, I'm going to see you out on the water. Make sure you trust the process.